Welcome to the 2020 École Alberni Elementary Remembrance Day Assembly. At this time, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded territory of the Tshot and Hupichasith nations, whose land we are lucky to live, work, and learn on every day. Please rise for the singing of O Canada. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 11th, is Remembrance Day. It is a holiday because it was on November 11th, 1918, that World War I ended. Since then, it has been an important day for us to stop and remember those brave soldiers who gave their lives at war, and also to remember those brave people who risk their lives to protect our rights and freedoms every day. I was thinking about Remembrance Day and what it means to me and to everyone here at our school. Fortunately, for most of us here, it is hard to imagine what war would be like. I sometimes catch myself complaining about or wishing for small and unimportant things. Things like, the hot water ran out when I was having a shower. I wish I got a bigger fish when I was out fishing. The internet is slow. Why isn't there more cheese on my pizza? I've heard some of you complain about small things too. I want to be first in line. My dad won't let me have a phone. I'd wake up early today. I wish my grandma would buy me a new PlayStation. My mom put mustard on my sandwich. Over the last 6 months, it's been really easy to find reasons to complain about COVID-19 too. I can't go on vacation. I want to have all my friends over to celebrate my birthday. Why can't I go to wrestling practice? One of my friends likes to jokingly remind me that these are first world problems. You sometimes see people post funny pictures on the internet about their first world problems. People do this jokingly, and often you get a good laugh. But when you stop and think about it, remembering that we are complaining about first world problems is really important. I found a good definition of the phrase first world problems. The definition is when you already have a substantial amount of what you need, yet you complain about the quality and the type of what you want. We are so lucky to live here in Canada, where we all have access to the things we need. As Canadians, we all have rights and freedoms which are guaranteed to us. As Canadians, we have freedom to think and believe what we want. We have the right to vote for the government we want. We have the right to move around Canada and come and go if we want. We have the right to speak whatever language we want. We have the right to be treated fairly and equally. Most of you have spent your entire lives in Canada, and as elementary students, you probably don't know or even think about these basic rights and freedoms. I can tell you though, if you speak to children living in other countries that don't have these rights, countries where children aren't safe, or countries that have experienced war, you would wish for these things. Remembrance Day is about stopping and remembering those people who sacrificed so much to make sure we would have these rights and freedoms. These were the people who made it possible for us to even think about our first world problems. We are so lucky to be worried about the things we want and not the things we need. So tomorrow, on November 11th, I want you to stop and remember, it's not just another day off school. One day every year we pay respect for those who died for their country. We remember those brave men and women for their courage and their devotion to make the world a safer place. We wear poppies, attend ceremonies, and visit memorials. For one brief moment of our life, we remember why we must work for peace every day of the year.
Hi, my name is Shari Minions. I'm the mayor for the city of Port Alberni, and we're here at City Hall. Today we rose the flag commemorating Remembrance Day and those who gave their lives and sacrificed to make sure that we can have all that we do have in this great country.
You yanked it up too dang fast.
Need to remember, need to hold on to all of those memories of those who are gone, lest we forget the role of honor and what they sacrificed in the end. So remember the scarlet flower, the little red poppy that never died on the battlefields, like the memories of all our countrymen. We wear them close to our hearts.
Hi there, Alberni Elementary. It's a sad year we're having this year, so I'm not able to march around with you. But here I am in the Greenwood Cemetery with our Field of Honour to talk to you again this year. As you can see, we're under the oak tree at the cairn, the memorial for the war dead. This oak tree was brought by an acorn from a gentleman in Port Alberni who brought the acorn from Vimy Ridge in France. And did you know that that Vimy Ridge memorial is actually a piece of Canada? It was given to the government of Canada, or the people of Canada, from France as a memorial to those who died taking Vimy Ridge in the First World War. As you can see, we've also got all the Field of Honour. And in the Field of Honour, dates all the way back from veterans from the First World War right through Second World War, Korea, and peacekeeping veterans are all buried into our field of honor. So that's why we wear our poppies proudly every year, to remember all our fallen soldiers and those who have gone before.
I'd like to welcome and thank our late Tyee Hotwit, Adam Shewish, his daughter is here with us, Darlene Taylor, sharing her knowledge about her Uamiksu, her late mother Ramona, who is a veteran, and served our country for a time being there. And we want to say Ushyap Shaklayet, Ushyap Shaklayet.
This is Darlene Taylor. My ancestral name is Histakuikshi. My mother was Ramona Gus, Imya, and my father was Adam Shewish. My stepfather was Wesley Gus. So I was brought up with all the Gusses. They're all my cousins. My mother was a very good person to get me motivated to do stuff. My mother was the only surviving child of her parents, Lizzie Cole Taylor and Dave Taylor. My grandfather died an early death. He's in his early 50s. He had a heart attack, and that left my mother and grandmother and my uncle alone, and my mother had to do something to support the family. She kept looking for jobs, but she couldn't find anything, so she ended up joining the Air Force. There was actually a whole bunch of them that were supposed to join the Air Force at the same time, but everybody else chickened out. There was just a couple of them that did go through the whole process of joining. So my mother joined the Air Force, and she had half her pay sent here to look after my grandmother and her brother. So she did that for just one tour, because she did get some training when she was in the Air Force. She became a practical nurse, and so she was, this was in the early 50s. It was, the Korean War was just ending actually when she was finishing her training. And so she was deployed around Canada. And I know she spent some time in Cornwall, Ontario, and Montreal, and a few places back east. And then they finally came to, okay, where would you like to be deployed next? And people were choosing France, England, other places just to see the world, because that's what a lot of them had signed up for. But my mother chose to come here to Comox, and because then she was not too far from Port Alberni to come home to see her mom and her brother. So they were going, Comox? Why do you want to go to Comox? But that was her reasoning. She wanted to be here close to the family. So she was in the Air Force just a short period of time, just enough to get a bit of training to have a job and to support the family at a crucial time. But she said, it was something that she did. It was something that she did to get a good background and to support the family. And so when she did get out, she ended up working at the hospital in Nanaimo. And now there are a lot of people there with tuberculosis, and that's where she worked. So she had a good drive behind her, and she kept that with us, that we all had a bit of a drive. And because I've got my university degree, my sister Wilma has a university degree. Pam got some other training, and David and Sybil, they went their own ways, and my brother's working at a fish hatchery now, and my sister Sybil's working in Tim Hortons, but she is working, so we're all kind of driven to keep working, to support the families we've got, and to care for each other as much as we can.
Here we are with a wreath that we're going to lay over onto Madame Reddick's grandparents' grave in the Field of Honor. And we lay the wreaths in memory and tribute to all those past servicemen that have served our country in war and peace.
Ma grand-mère était une soldat dans la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. Elle était une ambulancière. So my nana was an ambulance driver in World War II. Et mon grand-père aussi était en la deuxième bataille mondiale et il a été un soldat. And my grandfather was also fought in World War II and he worked in the radio comms.
Okay.
Chu, Uklama Kwatsapi. My name is Josh Goodwill. My mother is Isabel Cludesy, and my grandfather is Albert Cludesy. I come from Sishot First Nations, and we are respectfully in Pichisit Cemetery right now, and we'd like to thank you for the permission to be here to share a song in remembrance to our fallen soldiers and fallen comrades that have gone on to fight tough battles. True.
Why oh here, why oh here, hey oh, why oh here, ayah sasish nana akspaya tu kui, ayah. I'm shaking. Oh, oh, yeah. No, no, my hey, hey, Shaklis. Ayah, Sish, Nana, Expire to quiz. Ayah, Anna, to Squire, to. Comes from Sishot First Nation. It was given to the Sishot First Nation from the Alaskan people. It has traveled all the way here from far away. It is we use it as a prayer song, and we're using that today to honor our veterans that have given their life. Choo.
We are now going to watch a slideshow of pictures staff and students brought in of family and friends who are veterans or current members of the armed forces. While we are watching the pictures, we will be accompanied by music of the song In Flanders Field, and if you know the words from your music classes with Madame Megan, you are invited to sing along.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the lark still
Please stand for the last post, which will be followed immediately by a moment of silence, and then our réveil. Thank you. That concludes our Remembrance Day Assembly.